let's take a look at your paper. MLA citation, everything looks good here. The Loving Mind. We might come back to this title. It's okay, but I think you can probably be more opinionated in the title to give your audience an idea of where you're going to go. So as we move forward, let's keep that in mind, and then hopefully that'll make sense as we continue to move forward. So with your introduction, here's one problem that I'm having with it. Okay, there's a couple of problems I'm having with it. Number one, you got a ton of really dumb errors. No spaces after a comma. You have, I don't know, there's a lot of punctuation errors, which I'm going to go over those in just a second. What you start off with, though, is you start off with this question, which is essentially your topic. And I'm thinking your topic, which is part of the problem with this introduction, is I don't really know what your topic is. I know it's about love, and I'm assuming that it's what happens when you fall in love, but it's not really clear in here what that topic actually is. Because so you pose the question, why do we love? And then you go on to these bunch of platitudes, these just kind of general statement. Love makes and breaks people. Love is an intense feeling. But now imagine that in my life. And I like that you get to you in the paper because I think that's an important part about it. But I don't understand where you're going with it. So here's a silly error with a space right there. I love that you do anything for this person. Here's a comma splice. This is another complete sentence that you need to separate. Remember that periods always go inside the quotes, even though now that I look at this, I don't even think you need these quotes in here. Let's just throw it all away. I'm assuming this is about a past relationship, but why be so ambiguous about it? Be clear to your audience where you're going. Let that person, that being, be gone. This is a fragment sentence that you want to fix. Again, you have problems with commas and spaces where they shouldn't be, so on and so forth. It seems like all those hours, days, years were nothing. They're all just memories. Look how many short, choppy sentences you have in here. And there's nothing wrong with short, choppy sentences sometimes, but when they're everywhere, you have a problem. Down the drain, memories just wasted. There's another sentence fragment. I don't even want to think about them because they kill me. They hurt me so much. Again, we have a comma splice here afterwards. It's like a huge piece of a puzzle called life is just gone. That's kind of a cliche, maybe a little bit of an overstatement. Why would we love? Again, so maybe now that I read this again, it's the reasons, so the causes, what causes us to fall in love. Again, I'm going to have to read your paper to figure that out. It's here to make people feel so special, and then it's gone. So for this one, you need comma conjunction, and then you don't need the comma down here. So make sure you fix that. Again, with your introduction, be clear on your topic, be clear on your main points, and have a strong message at the end. I guess this is kind of a message. It just seems not the strongest message you could have there. So I'll keep reading. Maybe it'll make more sense to me what exactly your topic is. All right, so I guess reading the first one, it is the effects of falling in love. Again, strong topic sentence. What is the first effect for falling in love? For example, someone throws an apple, that always come down. So use this analogy throughout the whole first body paragraph. This is the kind of language you want to get rid of. Relationships have a big part in this topic. Let's have stronger language, stronger ways of stating things. High school is always 2 words. Make sure you separate those. The relationship is invincible. So I don't think you need the quotes around here. I don't think you don't need the comma there for sure. Definitely don't need the quotes around there. I think that this can just be part of your statement that it's invincible. When you put it in quotes, you actually take the I would say glory away from you. Now all of a sudden you're putting on somebody else's words when really it's yours. So I would get rid of that, Aaron, and not even have that. And then one of us makes a mistake. Now, there's a lot of the problem with somebody else reading this article, and I'm that somebody else. The problem is that it's super vague. Okay. Now, there's a reason that you probably made it super vague is because you didn't want to really dive into your whole love life with your English 10 teacher, which I understand, and I do want to make a statement about this whole thing here towards the end, but because you're being so vague, there's no connection, there's no strong details, there's nothing imagery wise to draw a sense. You really got to work on that. Something happens that makes the other go off the edge, so we're coming down. I see what you're doing here with these two parenthetical statements, but I bet you could probably put something in there that's a little bit stronger. When I beg for her back, this is not, we'll talk about semicolons soon. This is not a proper use of a semicolon. You should have two complete sentences on either side of the semicolon, and that's not a complete sentence. I have experienced a heartbreak, so again, it's a really short, choppy, nothing in there kind of sentence. It comes down substantially hard. Again, misuse of a semicolon, and you need a strong transition from one paragraph to the next. Have that strong transition that says, the worst transition is going to say another effect besides this is this. Well, again, I think you're going to want to have a stronger transition, just that. But be clear on your topic sentence. I'm not even sure what exactly your topic sentence for that last paragraph is. All right, so your first body paragraph was essentially one of the effects of love is possibly a breakup, I guess, and there's obviously a lot of negative connotation to this. So the second effect looks to be the emotional well-being, I'm assuming, of the individual. Again, I like that you're using I a lot in here. I like that you're using that. And the problem, again, a lot of this is pretty vague. It's just not, there's no connection. Obviously you feel strongly about this, but you need to let your readers connect as well to what you're saying. Again, we have some punctuation errors. This one's not as bad. This emotion is making me feel like I've never felt before. So rework this sentence. It's all of this and more. I don't want to do anything more. Here's a comma splice. I'm not wanting to go out, see anything or anybody. So fix that comma right there with a conjunction afterwards, or make this a semicolon, or make this a period, something like that. Again, with no context to what's going on, it's hard to relate for an audience. So I definitely think you're want to get that across somehow in your writing to make this a little bit more organized, and especially because what exactly is the topic sentence? What is this effect? And then hopefully your support will build off that. All right, so the last part is anguish. And the point that I guess I'm trying to get across, Aaron, is you've had 3 paragraphs of supposedly 3 effects, and I feel like at this point you're just saying the same thing over and over again. And so I'm having a hard time trying to differentiate between all the paragraphs, because the first 2, there's really not a clear topic sentence. This one is a lot more clear, although not a great topic sentence. But all it is a bunch of questions. I mean, how much of your paper is a question? I mean, go through and count them back up again. You ask more questions nearly than you make statements about the topic. And so that's taken away from your voice and taken away from your just your author's style. Love is cruel. It'll make you sad. Here's a run-on sentence. You have too many sentences in there. It'll wither you away. Good word with wither. And it'll destroy you in the most beautiful ways anyone can ever imagine. So we actually talked a little bit about this today in class. The idea of putting, destroy and beautiful in the same sentence. That's a nice little bit of juxtaposition with those 2 words. Again, though, this is about anguish, but it doesn't build off that. And because we don't know the background, it's kind of tough to try to all put together. So then you get into your conclusion. Again, we start with more questions. Why love? Why did something blah? Why would anyone do? Okay. Remember in your conclusion, repeat your thesis statement. Every main point gets a sentence of summary, and then you end on a clincher, which you add again, why love in here. Don't avoid at all costs. I'm only trying to save you, which, as I just laughed, comes off as almost comical at this point. Love is you horrifying at the same time. It's exquisite in every way. This wishy-washiness between what it is, yes, believe me, Aaron, I'll be the first to tell you that love is complicated. and love can be infuriating one minute and awesome the next minute. I understand that concept, but if that's really your concept, then that should be clear in your thesis statement, and that should be what all of your thesis statement is, that the dichotomy, the effects of it are both positive and negative depending on what the situation is, and that's maybe the route you need to go with for this particular paper, because I think you are, going back and forth to what it might be, but you really need to make sure that's clear. Hopefully we'll see a rewrite out of you. I think this paper needs a good, solid another draft before it's going to be in a great state. So hopefully we'll see that out of you soon, Aaron. Last thing I want to tell you. One thing, and I haven't gave you guys this lecture yet, that I always tell my sophomores when I have them is to avoid high school relationships. They are nothing but time wasters, and they make you, like you say, emotionally drained. So this is your one piece of advice from Mr. Brasher this early in the year. You're feeling this way, there's a reason for it. High school relationships are stupid. So take time to maybe help yourself before trying to get somebody else in the equation. But if you ever need to talk to me about something, Aaron, I know we don't have the greatest relationship right now, as far as I don't know you that well, but you're more than welcome to come talk to me about anything that's going on. So thanks for sharing, and hopefully we'll see another draft out of you soon.